Well, those are the top stories at this hour. It's now time to take a look at what you've been saying about those major talking points and stories. Well, Bukola joins me on this one. Bukola.
Yes, well done, Kadi. Nigerians are talking about quite a lot of things right now, one of which is, the projection or the announcement, if you like, by the chairman of Dangote Group that Nigeria may no longer need to import petrol by June. Nigerians are also talking about a host of other things, one of which is the feared death of the Iranian president. But I'm sure that, one of the things that will interest them first would be that talk about the possibility that there'll be no more petrol importation by June. So let's take a look at this first one from Heaven Ambassador, who says, better days ahead, only if we meet crude requirements from refineries, increase crude production, and Nigeria will see magical growth.
Oh, absolutely. I imagine a lot of Nigerians waiting for those better days. In fact, they would like for it to come as soon as today. Take a look at this next one from Oyeyemi Ajiboye saying, well, it makes no difference, according to this user, since Dangote will still import crude on behalf of Nigeria. It's important to, of course, also put that particular assertion in context. It says forex will still fly from Nigeria to USA. If Nigeria have capacity to supply Dangote with locally produced crude, the difference may be huge. But this is the head of Dangote saying we won't need to import. So that, of course, is different from what you have to say. But that's your opinion. Side by side, what he has to say, it's left for Nigerians to decide.
Well, the crude importation is a big concern. That concern about whether or not the NNPC will be able to meet Dangote's crude requirements, as well as continue crude exportation.
And not petrol importation.
Yes.
So those are two different things.
They're two different things. But the potential to end the 6 trillion naira importation regime is something to cheer about. Yeah. Absolutely. This next one is from former Showboy, who says, every day, different dates, different propaganda, a lot of skepticism here. He ends by saying, we're tired of you guys predicting the future. Show some work, I believe. Show workings. Yeah,
it's an expression now popular. Show workings. When you do your math exam, they ask you to show workings. But let's talk about something that played out in the nation's capital over the weekend, and it concerned Banex Plaza. Banex Plaza has been popular for quite some things, but the latest, we saw police soldiers taking over Banex Plaza after a clash. Well, the first one here says people need to know that actions come with repercussions. And of course, this follows that video we saw about people assaulting soldiers, that is. And this particular post goes on to say, if our military is disrespected, we won't be safe from other countries. Oh, that's a very interesting way to escalate it.
Well, I wonder. Let's just go to the next one.
Really quick, yeah.
This next one is from Benz, who says, two wrongs don't make a right. Soldiers may have been wronged, but is this a right action? That's a good question. It's a good way to look at it.
Has a similar one, saying, why do we beat a uniformed man? Very disrespectful. No matter what it is, it's not a civilian. So do not do that, I guess.
Yeah. Let's move to the next talking point now, which is, about SERAP. That's a Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, suing the 36 state governors and the Minister of the FCT over failure to account for huge sums of FAC allocation, I believe to the tune of, the figure is not stated here. So the first comment is from Easy Life, who says they should write to the appropriate authority, ICPC, EFCC, to investigate the FAC allocation is used appropriately.
So I think the idea here is about transparency and accountability. Do you have to look for that information before you find it? Should it be readily available? I think that's another crux. Take a look at what this user has to say. Almost Circle says, will they get the support of the people? That's a big question. This user says, I don't see SERAP winning this suit without the people's backing. Trillions, this user says.
As you said, the information is in public domain. All you need to do is request it from the RMFC. Since the removal of fuel subsidy, how much cumulatively have the 36 state governors and the Minister of the FCT received in terms of allocation?
And what have they used it for? I think that's the crux.
Yeah. So this next one is from Demo Gabazi, who says, there you have it. I'm throwing my support behind SERAP. Those governors must explain what they did with trillions of naira. Hashtag support SERAP.
Well, the other big story is on the foreign scene, and it concerns the helicopter crash involving the Iranian president's foreign affairs minister and other government officials. In fact, the representative of the supreme leader was also on that helicopter, we understand. So what have you been saying since that news broke yesterday? Well, let's start with this one from King Pablo TZ, saying this is a deeply troubling situation. The uncertainty surrounding the fate of Iran's president, coupled with the deployment of the IRGC and citizens' reactions, highlights the volatility and tension within the country. And I think a lot of people have been wondering what happens to Iran. Well, we understand that someone is to take over this event, and then Iran also has a supreme leader whom the president was being touted to take over from eventually, but it is what it is, sadly.
Well, this first one is, or this next one rather, is from Prayer Barn, who says, I read they've shut their media communications down temporarily. That's it. I'm sure they need to devise a game plan to prevent an uprising. The question still remains, was this a hit job? And what country is responsible? Well, it's too soon for us to begin to make those kind of suppositions or presumptions and wait for adequate communication from the Iranian government.
And I think naturally people are pointing accusing fingers, you don't understand. But this next post perhaps sorts that out to an extent. You see, Winnie Shola says Israel has already confirmed that it has nothing to do with the crash of the Iranian president. And this user says he believes them. He probably got internal enemies. Lots of postulations and theories. These things are expected at this time. But stay with the verified channel, stay with Channels Television as we'll bring you the updates on that crash. And that's pretty much what we can take from you at this moment, but we'll be taking your comments during the course of the show. So stay with us right here on the Morning Brief. We're starting with a big conversation. It's almost 1 year into the renewed Hope administration. How would you rate the government? Let us know what you think. Hashtag CTV Morning Brief. You can send a short video of you rating this government to our WhatsApp platform as well. You see that subsequently on your screen. So let's do this together, shall we? It's our first talking point. You don't want to miss this. Stay with us.